How
There's your
are
face cam.
you?
Hello.
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
All right. Are you good to go?
Yeah.
Are
Perfect.
you good to go?
I'm always ready. I'm a professional, so I need to be ready.
There you go.
Take those quotes away. You're
I'm doing it. All right.
yeah.
So, hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Our Past. Today I'm talking to Walker Callan and Camille Trust about I Need Your Love, which is premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 9th, 2024. I'm going to talk to them right now. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spread a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I've got Walker Callan and Camille Trust talking about I Need Your Love, which is premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 9th, 2024. It is a bittersweet, I guess, semi-autobiographical drama about Camille's life in New York, growing up, trying to make it in the city, some of the trials and tribulations. It is very funny. It is kind of awkwardly funny a lot. It has a lot of heart, and it definitely is a fun journey to take. So definitely check it out if you're in Tribeca. And thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Of
Thanks, David.
course. Of course. So, how did this show become a thing? Because Walker, you're the writer, but I feel like Camille, this is based very much on your life, I assume. So how did you kind of like come together and create this thing?
Camille, origin story.
Yeah. It all started on a dark and stormy night in September 2012. New York City, East Village, East 6th Street, Hurricane
October. It was
October.
Halloween
You're right,
weekend.
you're right. Sorry,
Oh.
I moved in September. Yeah, it was Hurricane Sandy swept through New York City, causing all sorts of drama. But the best thing that came out of it was meeting Walker in a dimly lit, candlelit apartment.
That that
And
that sounds like it could have been a romance or a horror movie, depending on how the
yeah,
story goes.
Either
We'll see.
yeah. It's more of a
honestly,
comedy horror. Yeah.
I was trying to hook up with his friend, honestly.
Yeah.
But
How'd that go
yeah,
for you, Cam?
I can't wait to
what'd you
get to that
say?
episode in the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think just Walker and I immediately we've just been best friends, and he sort of has just been witness to my life through and all the ridiculous trials and tribulations and successes that I've had and falls, and he's kind of just been there with a front row seat to all of it. And so um and all of it is like very true. All the things that you see in every episode in the series is like definitely things that have definitely happened to me. So last year he proposed me with this idea and was like, "Hey, I have an idea for a show." Also, he's always just been a film guy, and I've always been like, "You tell me when you're ready to have me as the ingenue." And I'm thinking it's gonna be like a movie or something. So I've been begging to like work together on something, but we just didn't know what it would be. And so then finally he proposed me with this idea. I was like, "How about we do this show and basically kind of it's about your life?" And I'm like, "I mean, I'm down, but." And so we created it together, and we came up with concepts for episodes, and he sort of got down to the nitty-gritty of like the script writing of it all. But I would then step in and be like, "I wouldn't say something like that," or the character, it wouldn't go like that, or if it's a music related thing, like they wouldn't say that, like kind of finessing it so that it is more true to the story or the actual reality of it. Walker, do you want to say something else?
No, that's it. It started off with just the two of us, and then it snowballed from there. And we had many friends and who are now people who are now our friends and family who
Mm.
like jumped on the wagon, and we filmed most of it in just all of it in New York City or greater New York City last summer. And it worked out. Like it was a definitely a wing and a prayer, but I think we're both very excited about what we have and where it's going.
Yeah, for sure. That is a fun kind of like random encounter. And then also it was really nice that you had a front row seat to these experiences, Walker, so you could chronicle them and then Camille could come in and like tweak them to, I don't know, make them more realistic or maybe soften them. I don't know. Like some of the stuff
Yeah.
is pretty crazy. So I'm not sure what level
Well,
the writing went.
yeah, I can say that what the product that you have seen is probably a relative PG-13 to what we could have done. and what we may
True.
what we may turn out in the future, because yeah, it's it's an adult life.
Okay, so everyone watching, make sure to start tweeting like release the NC-17 cut.
Yeah.
We want to get that campaign going.
Camille wants the uncut cut.
Yeah,
Of course, always. I'm
always.
always team uncut.
That might limit the platforms you're able to stream on, but you know what? Who knows? Maybe it'll make the story
Yeah.
more real. So that's amazing. Like, so how long did the like writing process take? You said you filmed it last summer in New York. How
Mhm.
long did the like process to get all these down and kind of like gather the resources and friends and things like that to fully
Woo.
do this? I wasn't sure because
Yes,
it's 2012 to
right.
2023 is a long journey.
Yeah, so in a sense, I mean, as you mentioned, in a sense, the writing process was over the past decade, but the literal writing and scripting of this happened. It began whenever I think I picked Camille up from the airport in like March or April last year, and
Hmm.
that's when we had our first conversation about this. And then immediately, I may have already even had like part of a script at that point. And then within the next like month, we had multiple scripts. We had a half of a skeleton team built out, and then enough to sort of like get it on its feet. Because the first stages of trying to do something independently outside of like a very structured studio system is entirely like you have to just breathe air into it constantly, or else it will just die because you have to be the biggest believer in the thing so everyone else does. And if you don't just like constantly just crank
Yeah.
the dial on it, yeah, so it was full throttle for basically, I mean, it hasn't stopped really in the past year, but yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, no, my understanding, I've never made a film. My understanding is indie projects definitely have to survive on a wing, a prayer, and a lot of love. And so that definitely sounds like that was like this. But luckily, your subject and star was really on board as well, so she probably wasn't going to pull out. So
Hell no.
Nah, she would not be welcome in the spare bedroom anymore if that if that had happened.
was this just
Implicit threat.
Camille? Was this just an excuse to have like a tax write-off trip to New York, like a long tax write-off trip to New York? Because I assume that works out for you.
Um, and just an excuse to hang out with my friends and make art, I suppose. Yeah. But no, I mean, I lived in New York forever. And then when we started filming this, I was kind of crashing with Walker at the time because I was singing weddings simultaneously during this whole filming process and like still had gigs and was still trying to like do my thing. Um, and make money. So we were definitely I was there up there for multiple purposes, but yeah.
No,
Don't tell
it's
the IRS.
well, my lips are sealed. This, we'll put a disclaimer that this is all for satire, sure.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm curious about the title of this movie or this series. I Need Your Love. That is the song that you're singing at the start of the pilot, but was there other reasoning for that title, or is that just a song that like keeps coming into your life throughout your rise, and so it was something that kind of spoke to you?
Yeah, so the song at the very beginning of the episode is Unchained Melody, which was originally by the Righteous Brothers, I believe. And so yeah, it's literally like one of the lyrics within that, but it feels like such a loaded title that you can
Yeah.
take so many different meanings from depending on who I've spoken to about it. Everyone kind of sees a different aspect, whether it's just like faith in other people or a certain kind of desperation. I think Camille certainly probably wanted the show to be called Camille. Uh,
I
but
did.
That
but
would be a sweet. You could get like a
yeah.
really sweet logo. You could just basically have your signature be it.
Yeah.
There was a few like there was a friend there's a there's French films or there's films called Camille, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
there
then we
are.
were like, like we workshopped so many different titles. And then I think sorry, did I cut you off, Walker? Okay.
No.
And we had workshops, so we had you should see the Google Doc. We have like lists on lists on lists of just so many ridiculous titles or great or just like one words and all these different things. And I think probably because we knew we were starting this series, that was always like the dream, that was always the point, was to make the beginning of the pilot this me singing in this like fantastical way. Um, and so that the fact that that's the first thing you hear, I think is really impactful. And I think also too, being a performer and to speak personally, you're always searching for love and validation from all sorts of people. And I think again, because Walker just knows me so well and has seen this, and I think that this is so true for performers, when you're almost married or whatever to your career, to your music career, like music is my boyfriend, music is my husband, all those things, then you do lack love in a lot of other ways in your life. But then the only way you feel love in a lot of ways is when you're on stage and you're like getting all this attention, right? So you kind of need that to feed you. It's like when he proposed me that idea at first, I was like, ooh, that sounds like I'm like this desperate sad girl, you know? But it also is very true. And I think if anything, we have so much truth and so much vulnerability in this. And it's me, I put a lot of myself into this in front of the camera and behind it. And, just giving up, like not giving up, but obviously sharing so much personal story and demons and things that you don't necessarily like want to face. And now here I am facing it on camera is very real. So when he first proposed me, I need your love, I was a little skeptical about it, but now it could not be more true, like it definitely is it's absolutely what it is, so.
It sounds like music is not a very good boyfriend and or husband for you. It sounds like they're very neglectful, but
You can ask anybody that, true.
but you get love from other places. I was actually going to ask about that. Like, the main character is named you. Clearly it's about you. Is it was it hard? Was it cathartic? Was it both to like bring these stories to light? I mean, the few episodes I've seen, you don't come off as bad. You come off as funny. You come off as like, trying to make it. But like, was it hard to like tell these stories and have a very kind of public platform to show them?
Yeah, and I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared about like watching it on the big screen, in front of other people. Obviously, everybody that's seen it is very internal. And so to see how the public is going to receive it is going to be not even like that. Like I'm talking like my friends and family, like just to see that they're
And
going to
me,
see
and me,
and
I'm
you.
public of the public.
But just in this way of, yeah, it was really vulnerable. It was really hard. There were days on set when like I would need to like take a lap or like don't like Walker would be like don't talk to her, leave her alone, because I would need to have like an emotional almost cleanse about it because you're facing a lot of insecurities and you're having to have a lot of conversations that we all as artists or as any sort of creators sort of repress because you're like, I don't want to face those demons right now. I'm trying to be my best, hottest self, at all times. So it was cathartic and good, but super vulnerable and super real. And there was definitely a lot of moments where like, yeah, there's definitely tough moments in it,
Yeah, for
but it's
sure.
all honest. That's the only thing that I can really say is everything you see is 100% honest and real. And I hope that we can like that can relate to other people, and that resonates with other people too.
Yeah, for sure. And luckily, it seems like in a lot of the episodes, there's alcohol around, so you could have used that to help with the creative process. Just some social lubricant. But to your point about this being so vulnerable, like I was thinking, like this is a very different type of performing than you're used to. Like when you're up on stage, it's almost like you
Exactly.
have this persona, this almost like untouchable persona. You are out there, you are big, you're performing, whereas now you have to perform in a very different way, a very like real, vulnerable way. So I could see how that would be a sharp U-turn from how you kind of normally go about your creative career.
Absolutely. And a live show is obviously so different too because you have maybe 45 minutes to like really rip it and maybe there's some flaws here and there but whatever and you're with the band and it's like and I'm just so used to being a live performer on a stage, so then for it to be this mic like to everything be so zeroed in and then there's so many different like there's so many other like gaffers and all these different people and there's people running all over the place and I'm the only person in charge of me really in this moment, and then it's going into this 1 second, then we film it, and then Walker will be like, all right, that was good. I'm like, Jesus. Like I didn't even, like it just I hadn't had like much experience like that because I'm so used to like the big grand performance and for you to have to like take it in and go so close to your face and speak honestly and almost, yeah, because I'm so used to playing Camille Trust in
Mhm.
life on stage in this big, loud singing diva kind of way.
Well, now you have another Camille Trust you can play, maybe the more authentic one. Um,
Exactly.
so and the main character is named after you. Was there any conversation about having the main character be a pseudonym or something to kind of like, I don't know, put a little bit of distance, or did you always know, you said it was going to be called Camille. Did you always know that this was going to be you? You were going to be portraying these are your stories. You're going to put it out there.
Yeah, always. I mean, I think if he were to if he were to not that he would because he knows me too well, but if he were to be like, we should name you Stephanie, I'd be like, fuck that. Like, we're not doing, no, I'm me. Like, why would we change the name? It's my story and I want to tell my story.
Yeah.
The new series is called Stephanie Lies. Sure.
Exactly.
Uh, and I asked this with all the love in the world. The first episode's called SNL. The third episode's called Taylor Swift. Are you worried about being sued? Like it feels like there's some big names in this. Did you have to like go through any sort of like checks to make these episodes? I mean, it seems like it's all kind of like comedy and whatnot, but I'm just curious about that process as well because you're saying real stories about real people.
Yeah, we're playing within the rules, and anytime we mention real people, it's nothing but love. So we think that if any of these real people happen to watch any of this, I think they'll be honored to have gotten the loving treatment that we've given everyone. So yeah, I think as we're trying to do like the life as it plays in reality, we didn't want to like start coming up with, I don't know, it just feels more authentic to go with the real things and the real stories and all of that and just
Yeah,
be as truthful as we can.
yeah,
And
for
if
sure.
and yeah, and I think also too, if there is like we're good for now, but if there is like some sort of legal action or something, that's for us, that's a good thing. That means that the eyes and ears are on it, and then we're getting some attention, and then yeah, we'll make adjustments accordingly, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and like you said, the same reason that you use your name and your story, it makes it just more believable to have real things that people can relate to and show your experience.
Yeah.
So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to a lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the series. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the series. Camille, I imagine your personal experiences map very closely, but maybe there's other things we can talk about. You can feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. First question. I loved this scene in the series. What is the strangest place that you've had champagne or a drink if you want to like open it up to something wider
In real life or on the show?
in real life?
Strangest place I've had champagne? Honey. Strangest place?
You probably had champagne on a scooter in Italy.
I've
That sounds.
definitely had,
More glamorous.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like strange though. Like
I mean,
underneath the in like the what I'm thinking is like on like when I did the yacht stuff. So probably like in the belly of a
Camille
yacht.
was very briefly a yacht, like I don't know what you call this. What is it? In one word, what is it?
I was a yacht host for
Okay.
but I cooked on boats in Greece during the pandemic. It was an existential crisis. Don't worry about it.
that sounds like a
Next
fantastic
question.
existential crisis. That sounds way better than my existential crisis during the pandemic. So hats off to you. Um, who is your favorite celebrity that you've randomly met?
Ooh, my favorite celebrity that I've randomly met, Adam Sandler.
Very nice. Walker, any random celebrity meetings? Or are they just all planned because you're so big up there?
Yeah, everything is
They're just at his doorstep every day,
Just
knocking.
knocking.
destiny. I've seen some. Who have I spoken about being really excited about seeing? It's hard in New York because
The Euphoria
oh
chick.
yeah, someone from Euphoria. I feel like in New York, there's this like like everyone tries to be so cool about whenever they're sitting at a table next to someone, and like everyone just plays into that like thing. I'm trying to think who
I know.
Mom has some fun ones when she was younger. I'm just gonna take my mom's one of like Paul Simon. She was in the bathroom with Frank Zappa one time. So I'm just gonna borrow mom's.
I'm curious how your mom got into the bathroom with Paul Simon and Frank Zappa, but we'll leave that for a
Yeah.
later discussion as well.
Yeah, I need to know that story.
Yeah, seriously, that'll be a follow-up. Last question. Have you ever had to delete a tweet?
I'm not on
He doesn't
Twitter.
have Twitter.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's really good at screening me, but he'll be like, take that off. So I
How
probably,
about you're not really active on Twitter, but I'm sure you've deleted Instagram stuff, right?
yeah,
Well,
for sure.
it's always good to have someone looking out for you, like a little guardian angel, to make sure that your drunken and or sober decisions are correct ones.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know we have a little time and they have a very busy schedule, so we're gonna wrap right here. But this is Walker Callan and Camille Trust talking about I Need Your Love, which is coming to the Tribeca Film Festival on June 9th, 2024. Like I said, it is a bittersweet semi-autobiographical drama about Camille's life that has just a ton of heart, some really kind of like believability to it, and some fun comedy as well. So definitely check it out if you're in Tribeca, or if you don't see it in Tribeca, keep an eye on the festival circuit. I'm sure it'll kind of like go the festival circuit and eventually come to some sort of streaming platform later down the line. So thank you so much for your time. And that was a lot of fun.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
David.
much.
Awesome. Thank you so
Lovely
much.
meeting you.
That was Walker Callan and Camille Trust talking about I Need Your Love, which is premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 9th, 2024. It is a bittersweet, semi-autobiographical drama about Camille's life and trying to rise in the city of New York, some of her trials and tribulations. It is funny, it is heartfelt, it definitely has an air of believability to it, even though it's kind of an out there comedy series. So definitely check it out at Tribeca, or if you see it in a future festival, or eventually when it comes to some sort of, I assume, streaming platform, definitely check it out. And if you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.